Is my screen or visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
गुड इवनिंग सर।
गुड इवनिंग ऋषि सर, कैसे हैं?
बस फाइन। वो सर कल सर्टिफिकेट देखा, उसमें डेट 20th to 30th जनवरी लिखी है हमारी।
कोई बात नहीं, आप बता दीजिएगा, वो करेक्ट हो जाएगी सर।
हाँ, वो मेल कर दिया मैंने, पर अभी कोई रिप्लाई नहीं मिला सर। सारे सर्टिफिकेट में यही है सर।
हाँ सर,
Good evening, sir.
यही है।
हाँ, we will change it. We will change it.
सर मेरा भी यही इशू है, मैंने मेल
हाँ जी
किया है।
सर, वो डेट
Sure, sure.
नहीं आ रही उसमें। ठीक,
आपका मेल अगर आपने किया है तो हमें मिल गया है, हम उसी हिसाब से कर देंगे, आप बिल्कुल फिक्र मत करिए।
एंड एज वेल
मतलब
एज
के
कोर्स टीम ओवरसीज होलिस्टिक एजुकेशन सर, वहां पे लिखा है हायर एजुकेशन एंड सोसाइटी।
हाँ, कुछ गलती हुई है। इनफैक्ट जो कंसर्न पर्सन था उसका एक्सीडेंट हो गया, बेचारा वो एडमिट है हॉस्पिटल में, तो उसकी जगह पे कोई दूसरा आदमी काम कर रहा है, तो देयर आर सम मिस्टेक्स, बट नथिंग टू वरी।
Okay, no issue.
It's our responsibility and duty to do the needful, right?
ओके, थैंक्स अ लॉट सर, थैंक्स अ लॉट।
Okay. So our resource person has joined and it is already 4:32. So I think without wasting time, we should start the program. मसरूर भाई शुरू करें?
Okay, yes.
So my friends, it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Muhammad Masroor Alam, a professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at Aligarh Muslim University. So
नमस्कार सर।
Namaskar.
Namaskar. Just a minute.
Is my full screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Visible.
Okay.
yes sir.
Now is it changing?
No, sir, it is constant.
I have changed the slide. Are you able to see the changed slide?
No, it is still first one.
It's still first one. So that means there will be some issue.
No, sir, it is
So
okay
I will
now. It is
go
going.
in this
It is
mode.
moving now.
Okay.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
So my friends, it's my pleasure to introduce Professor Muhammad Masroor Alam, professor in the Department of Civil Engineering at Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. So if you see his educational qualification, he is MSc in Geology, MPhil in Geology, PhD in Geology, NET, JRF and SRF in Geology. And his area of interest is engineering geology, sedimentology, rock engineering, disaster management studies. So quite learned person, completed his MSc in 1990 and joined as a faculty in 1997 in the Department of Civil Engineering. Then appointed as associate professor in 2006 and finally as a professor in 2012. So if you see, Professor Masroor Sahab in fact has delivered 50s of lectures on disaster management, environmental stresses and strain at various forums, especially at UGC Academic Staff College. In fact, at UGC Academic Staff College, he is one of the most popular resource person related to this area. If you see his contribution, in fact, he played a key role in starting new MTech course in geotechnical engineering at Aligarh Muslim University in the Department of Civil Engineering. And besides, in fact, he completed one project that was awarded to him by the Department of Science and Technology worth 5.88 lakh, and that was between 2003 to 2006. Actively engaged in teaching and research. Apart from that, he is also actively engaged in co-curricular activities. So he has contributed in university administration. If you see, he has been warden to various halls of residence. He has been provost to one hall of residence. He has been the coordinator of National Service Scheme NSS, and presently he is working as part-time coordinator of NSS. Besides this, plenty of research papers he has published. One very good book he has published. The title is Fundamentals of Engineering Geology and Geoengineering. And Ministry of Education's one program, EPG Pathshala. So he has contributed 9 modules in that EPG Pathshala related to various courses, and these are in the forms of videos and they are available on YouTube. So if you see, his papers have been published in very reputed journals like the Journal of Construction and Building Material, Arabian Journal of Geosciences, Natural Resource Research, Journal of Rock Mechanics and Geotechnical Engineering, and very reputed International Journal of Scientific and Engineering Research, which is published from Houston, USA. Besides, he has contributed in Chinese Journal of Geochemistry, which is published from China. He has contributed in Himalayan Geology, which is published from Dehradun, India. He has contributed in Journal of Geological Society of India, which is published from Bangalore. Another article has been contributed by him in Indian Minerals, which is published by Geological Survey of India, Calcutta. And one paper has been published in Indian Journal of Petroleum Geology, which is again published from Dehradun. And one very reputed that I have left is the Journal of the Institution of Engineers, very reputed, and in that also he has contributed. Besides, he has been the coordinator of Atal FDP on underground space utilization, and that was awarded to the Department of Civil Engineering by All India Council for Technical Education. So if you see his citations, so Google Scholar 418 citation, H index 10 citation, I index 10 citation, and I10 index 12 citation, and Scopus he has 238 citations. So in a nutshell, if I say, Masroor Bhai is a very good teacher, a very good researcher, and actively contributes in the outreach program, particularly for the conservation of the environment, particularly for the sustainable development and living, particularly for the waste management and biodiversity. So the moment we decided that we are going to have one technical session on pollution and waste management and biodiversity, then Director Ma'am instructed me that no one will be as suitable for us as Masroor Bhai. So we requested him. In fact, he is very busy. He takes evening classes in the department, but still he got time for us. So plenty of things are available about Masroor Bhai on the web page of the department. His complete CV is uploaded on that. So if you want to know something more about Masroor Bhai, definitely you can visit the web page of the department and you can know more. So at this juncture of time, I am just relying on this short introduction. And with this short introduction, I am handing over the session to Masroor Bhai. And Masroor Bhai, one thing about my participants, they are very interactive. And I'm quite sure you will enjoy their company. They are very responsive, they are very interactive, and they really want to learn. So with this, it's over to you, Masroor Bhai.
Okay, thank you very much for a very nice and long introduction of me. That was not needed because we are short of time. I have put a slide with some small queries. Are you able to see, all of you? Yes. Okay. So just answer the queries in yes or no, and one or two simply you have to put the things in order of preference. So just make the answer and put it in the message box. Please put the answer in the message box. Okay. So these are few questions to start with. I'm starting with the question, then we'll come to the issue which we have to discuss. Perhaps today's is the last day and it is the last lecture, isn't it?
No, sir. After you, there is another lecture.
Okay, okay. At what time? At what time?
6:15.
6:15. You have to write down your answer by putting the question number. For one, for example, yes or no, then two for yes or no. So try to answer these questions. Uh, uh, now see, nowadays the topic of this presentation, they have put lot many things in one lecture. They wanted to have a talk on climate change, on pollution, on waste management, as well as biodiversity. Though all these things are very much important nowadays, and we are all need to be concerned with all these issues. But it's a very broad topic. It's a very big topic because it has at least, I can speak on each of these topics for 1.5 hours, which has been given to me. But I will try to club all these issues in this very presentation. And I am starting with these questions. Now, the first thing is that climate change, is this a news only or it has become a fact? Is this become a fact? How many of you have started feeling yourself that there is something like climate change?
It's a fact, sir.
It's a
Climate
fact.
has changed.
Okay. For the first time, it was established by United States National Academy of Science in 1978. Then in February 2007, United Nations has confirmed this, and the United Nations has made a committee, that is IPCC, International Protocol on Climate Change. Now, what is important is that this change in the climate is because of activities of human beings. That is the issue. The change is strongly influenced by anthropogenic activities, that is, activities carried out by human beings. Even if there is no human component, then too the global warming is taking place. So this global warming is taken as a climate change. Now, the warming only is not a climate change. It can be cooling also, it can be change in the wind pattern also, it can be change in the rainfall pattern also. All these things can be part of climate change. But nowadays, what we are seeing is the global warming. If you have heard or if you have read the newspaper a few days back, it has said that this year's January was the warmest January of the last century. But we felt lot of cold. We have got reprieve from the cold in this month of February only. The January and the December was very cold. But still that cold is not that cold which used to be as far as statistics and data is concerned. So
Sorry to interrupt you, sir.
yes.
I'm from Gujarat. We are having month of February. Right now, I'm driving car going back home, and
Yes.
my AC is on, sir.
Okay, okay. So that is the effect of global warming. And
Exactly, sir.
the ACs will warm the globe more. That is another feedback. Now,
Yes.
this is the only planet which is the living planet. There is no other planet on which life is present. This is the only planet. And why life is present on this planet? Because of the fact that we have water as well as oxygen. We have water as well as oxygen, which is not present on any other planet. The third important thing is that we have a temperature system on the earth. We have a temperature system on the earth which is in the range of -60 and +60 degree. -60 and +60 degree, in which water can be found in all the three states. Then we have a force of gravitation, gravity, which has held the oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. So the Earth is fortunate enough to have life. Now this whole Earth system is made up of different spheres. For example, atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, asthenosphere, baryosphere. Baryosphere is the deepest part of the Earth, that is starting from 1000 kilometer to 6370 kilometer part is called as baryosphere. From top of the Earth's surface to 200 kilometer it is lithosphere, and from 200 to 800 kilometer it is asthenosphere. So we have these many spheres which are interacting amongst themselves, and they are constituting our living environment. Now, the human beings have created one more sphere, that is called as built sphere or technosphere. The built sphere and technosphere has been made at the cost of atmosphere, at the cost of hydrosphere, at the cost of biosphere, at the cost of lithosphere. We have made the built sphere or technosphere at the cost of atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere. That's why some changes are bound to take place in these spheres, and one of the change in the atmosphere is the overall warming of the Earth, that we call climate change. Now, climate change, if you see the history of the Earth originated some 4,500 million years ago. In the history of the Earth has been subjected to many times the overall temperature change. We had many ice ages. We have many warm ages. We have many precipitation ages. But all those changes which has taken place on the Earth was in terms of millions of years, at the scales of millions of years. But today what we are seeing, that at the scale of 100 years to 200 years, or at the most 300 years, that climate is changing. The climate change on the Earth from its origin, since its origin was because of geological process, because of natural process. But this time, the temperature which is changing, or the weather which is changing, or the climate which is changing, it is because of human intervention. And that has been proved by direct observation and by indirect observation. You can see the newspaper cutting. I'll show you a lot of newspaper cutting which I have collected with time to show the why everybody is concerned with the global warming. If you can see the left side, Roger Federer has blamed the extra heat in the arena for his loss. And on the right side, if you can see, in Australia, the omelette is being made in the sunshine. The temperature is so high that they have made omelette in the sunshine. At another extreme in America, the temperature has gone down to minus 30 degree, so much so that the jeans pant, if you can see the picture on left side, the jeans pants, they can be put in the stand-up fashion. In the erect fashion, you can see the jeans pant which have been frozen because of excessive cooling. And in Australia at the same time, there was excessive warming. Now this warming has resulted into a lot of forest fire. Apart from indirectly affecting many things, the most direct effect of these global warming in different places in the world is the forest fire, which are taking place, for example, in United States of America from last 5 to 6 years in California forest. The lower left picture is the fire which took place on the island of America in Pacific Ocean, Maui Island, in which more than 400 people have died. There is a direct and indirect record of temperature change on land and sea. These direct changes have been measured by using thermometers. When people have invented thermometers, they have started measuring the temperatures. They have put temperature thermometer and other temperature measuring devices on the land as well as on the sea. And the observation which has been made, it has been seen that from 1880 to 1910, there was a temperature increase of 0.5 degrees centigrade. From 1935 to 1975, the temperature was almost same. From 1975 to 2010, the temperature has risen to 1.25 degree. Similarly, in 1993, there was global cooling. So the temperature has changed in different ways. If you can see this graph, from 1850 to 1880, the temperature has risen. From 1880 to 1910, the temperature has gone down. From 1910 to 1930, the temperature has again gone up. Then it has come down from 1930 to 1950. Then again from 1950 to 1970, it has an increase. And from 1970 till present day, it is increasing and increasing. Now, what is the cause of increase? Is it a natural cause or is it an anthropogenic cause? That is something important. Global warming can take place or climate change can take place because of some natural processes also, and it can also take place because of anthropogenic activity. The most important anthropogenic activity which lead to climate change is the release of greenhouse gases. Is the release of greenhouse gases, which include carbon dioxide, CH4, H2O, SO2, NO2, all those gases which have two oxygens, they are all greenhouse gases. Now, these greenhouse gases, they are important also. Their presence is a must for keeping the earth warm. If you remove all the greenhouse gases from our atmosphere, in which nitrogen oxide is almost 70%, 78%, 21% is oxygen, 21% is oxygen, and left in 1% we have all other gases. The carbon dioxide is only 0.04%. But if you remove all these greenhouse gases, the temperature of the earth will come down to minus 18 degrees centigrade. Means if you take the average temperature of the earth 15 degrees centigrade, the temperature will go down by 33 degrees centigrade and it will reach to minus 18 degrees centigrade. So greenhouse gases, they are important for us. They are important for us, but further increase in greenhouse gas percentage will result into the increase in the temperature, which we may not feel good. What happens that solar radiation comes onto the ground, and when it goes back after reflection, it is trapped by greenhouse gases which are present in our atmosphere, and they keep the earth warm. But the increase in carbon dioxide is going to create problem. From where carbon dioxide is coming out, from where methane gas is coming out, mostly due to the burning of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are coal as well as oil, which nature has put back into the earth from 500 million years ago to last 10 million years ago. It is constantly keeping the carbon in the form of coal and dead vegetal matter into the ground. But what we are doing, we are taking it out and burning it, and that is resulting into increase in carbon dioxide gas. Now, if you can see the Earth system is, the Earth is third from the sun. The Earth is third from the sun. First we have Mercury, then Venus, then Earth, and after Earth we have Mars. Now the position of the Earth is very important. The position of the Earth, third from the Sun, keeps the Earth in the temperature range of -60 to +60 degrees centigrade on an average. Now, if Earth comes closer to the Sun or if it goes away from the Sun, definitely there will be change in the temperature system. But it is unlikely that Earth is going to change its orbit. Similarly, you must be knowing that Earth is rotating on its axis. Earth is rotating on its axis, which is tilted. So, if there is a change in the tilt, then again we have change in the temperature. For example, at equator, we have direct sunlight, we have maximum heat. At poles, we have indirect sunlight, we have very low temperatures. But if the Earth's axis is subjected to tilt, the pole positions will change, the equatorial positions will change, and if this change takes place, then ultimately what will happen? The new temperature or weather system will develop in these regions. Now it has been said that Indonesian earthquake in 2004 and Japanese earthquake in 2011, which has resulted into development of tsunami, that has resulted into some change in the Earth's rotational axis. And if this change has taken place, then there will be some change in the global temperature regime across the Earth's latitudes. Now, we can have some other natural force which can change our temperature. That is solar activity. Sometimes we have sunspot activity. The surface of the sun has got temperature 6,000 degrees centigrade. Now, when solar activity or solar spot or sunspot activity takes place, the temperature slightly rises. And when the temperature of the solar surface is going to rise, that is also going to affect the temperatures all around the Earth and other planets also. So this can also be a cause, but when the cosmogenic isotopes have been studied to check this cause, it has suggested that the role of solar activity or sunspot activity is very negligible or minor. Now, greenhouse gas production. As I have already told you, that these greenhouse gases which we have in our atmosphere, it has naturally come out of the Earth through volcanic processes. Volcanism, in which lava and gases come out from the Earth's surface, it has brought different gases from interior of the Earth to our atmosphere. In the early part of the Earth's history, and still today, wherever volcanism is taking place, it is bringing sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, hydrogen fluoride, sulfuric acid, all these are coming and going into atmosphere. So this can also increase different greenhouse gases which are instrumental in global warming. So there can be a natural process and there can be a anthropogenic process. We have to see that which is more active. The data at Mauna Loa Observatory, Mauna Loa Volcano Observatory has shown that there is a 20% increase in carbon dioxide in last 40 years, not because of volcanism, but because of anthropogenic activities. Now, when this carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere, what happens with this carbon dioxide? Some of the carbon dioxide is taken by the plant. Some of the carbon dioxide is absorbed by the ocean. Some of the carbon dioxide is taken by the zooplanktons which live as a microorganism in the oceans. Now, carbon dioxide is going to be absorbed by the ocean waters or sea waters. We have 3/4 of our Earth covered by oceans. Now, oceans are the biggest sink apart from the vegetation for absorbing the carbon dioxide. But with time, by absorbing carbon dioxide, the ocean waters have become acidic. with more and more and more of carbon dioxide getting absorbed in the ocean, it is becoming more and more acidic. And once it is becoming more and more acidic, it is not able to absorb that much of carbon dioxide as much it is supposed to. So what happens that with the increase in carbon dioxide and less absorption of carbon dioxide in the ocean, the percentage of carbon dioxide is increasing. If you can see the graph, this graph suggests that carbon dioxide is increasing, so is the ocean is increasing, and if the ocean temperature increases, the ultimate effect is the sea level rise. Why we fear global warming? The main cause of fear of our global warming is that if global warming take place, all the glaciers will start melting. Once the glacier starts melting, the sea level will rise. If all the glaciers in the world are subjected to melting, all our coastal areas will be under 9 feet of water. So the fear of global warming is that ice is going to melt, glacier is going to vanish, and temperature will and the water will increase through rivers. It will come to the ocean, and ocean level will rise. But apart from the melting of ice, even simple warming of the ocean water is going to increase the sea level. When we warm water in utensils, because of heating, the volume of water increases. So let's not think only that it is the melting of glacier which will increase the sea level, but also the simple heating of the sea level, sea water, there will be increase in the sea level. And once the sea level start rising, all small islands which have only 3 meter or 4 meter of freeboard, they will be drowned in the oceans. So the major issue is the overall increase in the temperature and sea level rise. If you can see here, we have different ways of sea level rise: melting of glacier, land water storage, melt from Antarctica, melt from Greenland, thermal expansion below 2000 meter, and thermal expansion from 0 to 2000 meters. Now then we have another way of change in the temperature. That is because of plate tectonics. Are you able to see the video? Are you able to see the video?
No, sir.
No, video is not working. Okay. This picture, if you can see, this is what is called as Gondwana land and Angara land. Some 60 million or 65 million years back, these continents, they were together. You must have heard or you must have read about the continental drift theory. This continental drift theory has been now termed as the theory of plate tectonics. Please. Who is speaking? Musa Ali, please. Put off your mic. Musa Ali. Okay, so this is what is the Earth some 65 million years back. Now all these continents, they have separated from each other, and they have gone to different places. And this has resulted into different temperature regime. They are into as per their equator, their place with respect to equator and tropics. So this plate tectonics is still going on. The plate tectonics is still going on. Different plates, they are moving at the rate of 5 to 10 centimeter per year. So if different continents, different land mass, they are moving, they must be changing their latitudes. And if they are changing their latitude, that means their temperature will also change. Their weather will also change. If you can see this diagram, in this different parts of the earth, they are moving in different direction with different speeds. Now, apart from the direct data which has been measured in last 200 years, there are some indirect data. There are some indirect data which has been collected for different places through historical records. The farmers, they have kept record of temperature in France, in England, in many different parts of the world, and they have the scientists who are working on the problem of global warming, they have collected these data, and they have said that at a particular place, at a particular region, the temperature was this some 200-250 years back, and today the average temperature is this. So from that also they have been able to work out the overall change. Now there are some other indirect evidences. For example, glaciers. We had ice age. You must be knowing that we had ice age some 2 million years back. That is known as Pleistocene Ice Age. There are 4 or 5 movies on the name of Ice Age. Some of you must have seen those movies. They are very good movies to understand the origin of the earth and all those. Now, sometimes we find huge rock blocks at place where similar rock is not present. For example, in this right picture, we have a white colored rock which is not available there. It has brought by glacier at this place in past, geological past. So that means glacier have advanced up to this place. Now the glacier has receded. So when glacier has receded, why they have receded? Because of global warming. So there is a overall natural temperature increase, as well as there is an increase because of anthropogenic activities. Now, if you can see the picture on the left side, same hill with the ice caps have been photographed in 1912, 1970, 2000 and 2006 at the same time, same month. And you can see the overall ice cap has reduced. Overall ice cap has reduced. This is an indirect evidence of global warming. In the right picture, I am showing you again erratic which is brought by glacier downward. This is from Sonmarg, Kashmir. It has been brought from 30 kilometers back. The rocks which are present surrounding this block, they are different, and this is different rock. This rock is not present here. How come it has come? It has come, or it can brought by only glaciers. So this is another evidence which is called as proxy evidence or indirect evidence. Similarly, scientists have studied stalactites and stalagmites. These are the hangings, rock hangings in the caves, which form due to the precipitation of calcium carbonate. When water droplets fall on the ground, they are evaporated and they create a layer of calcium carbonate. The drop which gets evaporated at the roof of the cave, they form stalactite, and the drop which falls on the cave floor and then it grows upward, that is called as stalagmite. The scientists have studied the stalactite and stalagmite, and they have done isotopic studies of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. And what they have worked out that stalactites and stalagmites, they also indicate the overall global temperature rise from 1500 to year 2000. So this is another evidence. Then for another evidence, what we do, we try to go to the places where we have thick ice accumulation, glaciers, Antarctica, Greenland, and all those where we have ice accumulated more than 3 kilometers in thickness. We go for coring. We take out cores of these ice sheets, and then we study the gas bubbles in those ice cores. We study the gas bubbles which were trapped into the ice at the time of formation of that ice. When these gas bubbles are studied, we can work out the composition of climate of that time. So this is another way of working out the past global temperature as well as composition of the atmosphere. There are libraries which have code which can tell us about 8,50,000 years history of atmospheric gases. Overall, 20 kilometers of length of code is kept in the library and scientists, they study them. So from the study of global ice, gas bubbles and their chemistry, this graph they have plotted. So if you can see this graph, there is a very sharp increase from 1900 to 1950. Then there is a drop in temperature from 1950 to 1980. And then again, there is a rise from 1980 to 2000. Then people have studied the different layers which we find in the trees. We call it dendrochronology. We can study the isotopes of oxygen, carbon, and hydrogen and work out the past temperatures or paleotemperatures from the trees which have lived for 300 years or 200 years or 100 years. The scientists have collected data from the trees of last 1200 years. By summing all the data, what they have found that the carbon dioxide and CH4 has shown increase and decrease in a very secular manner from last 800 to last 50 years or so. But from last 50 years, the percentage of carbon dioxide and CH4 have risen almost straightway upward. The concentration of carbon dioxide has increased from 280 to 550 per part million. That means 26 to 50 billion tons of carbon dioxide is added yearly. Why it is added? How it is added? By burning trees, by burning fossil fuels, and by our different industrial activities. A scientist in 2003, Mac Titrick from Canada, has written a research paper, and his research paper is famous for its name, hockey stick paper. So if you see the last part of the graph, it has gone up just like a hockey stick. See, this graph shows all the data, instrumental data, reconstruction data, all these data have been taken together, and now it has been proved that we are towards increase of global temperature from 1950 onwards. And the cause of this global temperature rise is human beings. ये सूरज की साजिश नहीं है, खुद जमी सेक रहे हैं हम. So this much all about the climate change, but the problem is that why should we fear climate change? Why we are fearing climate change? We fear climate change because of melting of ice, which will lead to more runoff. This will lead to loss of sweet water. This will increase desertification. This will increase humidity. This will result into severe weather as well as sea level rise. These are the obvious reasons for which we are fearing the global warming. Then we have some less obvious reasons also. These less obvious reasons are local to regional migrations, increase in certain disease, thermohaline conveyor means sea level changes and sea currents will change their directions and migrations, which will result into development of El Nino and La Nina. It will result into changed agriculture pattern, crop failure, animal migration, and ecological imbalances. Now, the global rise in the temperature is going to increase the agriculture produce. That is the only positive point. Why we make greenhouses? To grow plant faster. We make greenhouses artificially in our biology departments using glass or nowadays using plastics. Why? To increase the growth of plants. So yes, global warming is going to help the plant world increase their metabolism. But at the same time, due to extreme weather condition, we will have lot of crop losses. So whatever we are going to get positive is going to loss because of extreme weather conditions. So if you see, we have lot of extreme weather conditions. Bitter cold spread east in US. Heat turned Shanghai streets into giant slumber party. In Japan, there was a JB cyclone. Now, what is this? Heat turned Shanghai streets into giant slumber party. The temperature has risen so much in the night that ACs have stopped working. ACs have stopped working, so people had to come out of their multi-story buildings and went to park and to have their night sleep. You must be seeing, you must be reading, you must be seeing the television, you must be seeing the newspapers that extreme weather conditions, they are creating havoc. That is the reason of climate change. Now, what is being done? Please write any query into the message and keep your mic off. Now, what is being done to check the climate change? We are going for lot of international conferences where head of the states are coming together and discussing what to do. But from 1972 till date, tens of conference climates have taken place. The first was held in 1972. After that, many has taken place, but I am listing only those climate conferences which are from the time when I started observing them. So from Kyoto Climate Conference from 1997, then 2000 Netherlands, 2001 Morocco, 2002 India, 2004 Argentina, 2005 Germany, 2007 Indonesia, 2008 Poland, 2009 Denmark, 2010 Mexico, 2011 UN Climate Conference, 2012 Durban and Qatar Climate Conference, 2013 Warsaw, 2014 Peru, 2016 Morocco, 2017 Germany, then in Kenya also, then in Paris Summit also, in Xi'an, then in 2018 Poland, 2019 Madrid, Spain, and then in 2020 no climate conference because of COVID. Then in 2021 it was in Glasgow, Scotland. The latest hashtag tell the truth. All these conferences, they have not resulted into anything. They have not resulted into anything. The people who are pro-environment and against the government policies for climate change, they said that dishonesty and falsehood are the reasons why 3 decades of climate negotiations have achieved little. From last 30 years, the negotiations are taking place, but we have not got anything out of those tens of international conferences. We talk a lot, we discuss a lot, we give a speech, lot of deafening noises, but muted outcomes. No outcome yet. This is what has happened in 2022, COP27. We are putting our head into the sand, which is called as ostrich behavior. Ostrich, when it feels any danger, it puts its mouth into the sand. And when it puts mouth into sand, he or she cannot see anything, and what she thinks that no one is seeing it also, but that is not the true case. So what is happening from these climate conferences? Only mumbo jumbo documents are prepared and nothing concrete has taken place. You must have heard of name of Greta Thunberg. She started doing a strike in Sweden when she was in class 8. Every Friday, the schools went for a strike for 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 telling the people that we should care about our climate, our weather system. Teen activists tell leaders they are not mature enough to take proper action on climate change. Even the burden they leave on children. They have ignored us in the past and they will ignore us again. You say you love your children above all else, yet you are stealing their future in front of their very eyes. So what is happening? Ultimately, why we are talking of climate change and related issues? Because it is going to create issues for future. And that future is for our children. What are we going to leave for our children? How this earth will be after 20 years or 25 years or 30 years? Why we are not cutting on our carbon dioxide emission? We have different groups, developed countries, underdeveloping countries, and undeveloped countries. The underdeveloping countries and developing countries, they say that if we stop our industrial production to stop less carbon dioxide emission, then our economy is going to lose. So the developed countries, they have already polluted. Now they want developing countries to check on their CO2 emissions, but they are not transferring the technology. So there is always a fight between developed countries and underdeveloped countries. And because of this fight, nothing concrete is happening. Today, the fight is that let's not allow the temperature to increase from 1.5 degree to 2 degree. The global warming cannot be stopped overnight. The global warming cannot be stopped overnight. The global warming will take place and it may go up to 1.5 degree or 2 degree. Let's fight that global warming should not go beyond 1.5 degree. Because if we compare the global warming from 1.5 degree to 2 degree, the loss of insects will increase manifold. The loss of coral reefs will increase manifolds. The sea level will rise double as compared to 1.5 degree to 2 degree centigrade. The crop losses will increase. The ice melting will increase. The extreme heat condition will increase. And this will also result into the water scarcity. So the fight is between 1.5 to 2 degrees centigrade. What happens when sea level rises? Our coastal areas, they are subjected to coastal erosion. To stop this coastal erosion, what we do, we put concrete pads and concrete tetrapods. Now, while making these concrete pads and the concrete tetrapods, we must have used cement, we must have used aggregate, we must have used industrial process, we must have brought it by trucks. All these must have had carbon footprint and which must have resulted into more global warming and more sea level rise. So we are caught in a vicious circle. We are caught in a vicious circle. Now there are people, there are organizations which are fighting for humankind. They are fighting for environment. They are fighting to check climate change. US liar who was a what you call US Senate member, he burned himself by putting oil onto him. He said that, you see how the world is going to be burned by excessive use of fuel oil and fuel. He has put match after pouring oil onto him, and he died. He said that in the same way the earth will vanish. So there are individual people who are even giving their life for the cause of checking the climate change. There is a very big company dealing with the ready-made garments, whose founder, Mr. Yuan Chouinard of Patagonia, he has given all his profit of his company for the climate change check. So climate change is a big issue. But there's another important issue. We have to see that which one is bigger issue. Climate change is a bigger issue, or environmental disorders, they are the bigger issue. The pollution is a bigger issue, or climate change is a bigger issue. That is another issue which we have to see. Almost 100 people world over are dying every 30 minutes due to various kinds of diseases caused by environmental disorders. Environmental disorder means pollution, immediate pollution to our environment. Lakhs of people in the world are threatened by new threats of Zika, Ebola, dengue, cancer, flu, diabetes, coronavirus, and with global warming. We have seen the havoc played by the coronavirus. We are seeing the world dying slow deaths due to the diabetes, cancer. All these cancer, diabetes, they have increased manifold. Everybody who has not got himself tested for diabetes is diabetic. The diseases are attacking with much more lethality on human beings whose immune system is already compromised by adulteration and lack of physical activity. Polluted drinking water atmospheres with no means of control are taking toll on human life. According to Global Burden of Disease, 138 people per lakh in India have died because of pollution. So we have to see, we have to weigh our options. That what is the immediate concern? The climate change or the pollution? Climate change or pollution? See, this is the data of Indian cities or Indian villages of air pollution. We are dying by breathing. We are dying by breathing. What we are breathing? We are breathing toxic gases. We are breathing particulate matter. So what is important? Delhi. 7 years ago, everyone saw Delhi's air take a deadly U-turn, but no one did a thing. From 1998 to 2007, the pollution has gone down in Delhi. And then from 2007, again, it is increasing. What is the reason of pollution coming down? What could be the reason that from 2000 to 2007, the pollution have gone down? What could be the reason? What could be the reason? What could be the reason? Can anybody tell? Can anybody tell? Or you can write in the message. Can anybody answer why this has gone down? The reason is that we have switched to CNG. We have switched to CNG. And once we switch to CNG, it has gone down. But again, it was taken over by industrial pollution. Now you see, I have got a data in 2015, in fact 2016, that in India, top 10 selling drugs, we had 5 drugs for diabetes. India is known as diabetic capital of the world, diabetes capital of the world. Out of 10 most selling drugs in India, top 2 is taken by diabetes, and then 6, 7 is taken by diabetes, and 10th is taken by diabetes. I was not sure why this has happened, why it is so. What could be the answer? That why we have lot of diabetes in India. Why India has become diabetes capital? Now, anthropogenic stresses.
Because of our habits and food which we intake.
Yes. Now you see, India has an agrarian economy. India is a village economy. Now the persons who are living in village, they are not eating that refined food and they are doing lot of labor, but they are also diabetic. My own uh, person who is doing farming for us, he is diabetic, living in a place which is very remote from the city. So why diabetes have reached the villages? So this was a question in my mind, of which I got answer in 2019. I will show you that slide where I got the answer. Now, we are stressing our system because of population growth, which is affecting our food production and distribution. We are creating lot of waste generation, and there is a problem of disposal, which is leading to air, land, and water pollution. We are indiscriminately exploiting our resources, which is resulting into land degradation. Our energy demand has increased, and that has resulted into more carbon footprint or more carbon dioxide emission, which is of course affecting our climate. The climate change is taking place. Because of increased population growth, we have more and more infrastructure development, and more infrastructure development is going to affect our ecosystem and loss of land and loss of biodiversity. So the biggest issue, one of the biggest issue is waste reduction. One of the biggest issue is waste reduction. We have different kind of waste. We are not being able to manage our waste. We are not being able to manage our waste. Conserving and managing resources and waste should be national priority as in Sweden. Conserving and managing waste should be the national priorities as in Sweden. We are not able to manage any kind of waste, including the e-waste. Government of India has started Swachh Bharat Mission in 2014 just to address this issue. We had one more scheme called as Total Sanitation Campaign started in 1999. This was again redesigned as a Swachh Bharat Mission in 2014. And what we have promised ourselves that by 2019 we should have a clean India in the honor of Mahatma Gandhi ji. But what is the result today in 2023? With all round publicity accompanying with Prime Minister Modi and his inspiring acts, his urgent setting target and even scolding need to be made a mass movement. But we individuals are not still concerned with the Swachhata. We want to clean our house only. We don't care anything about Swachhata outside our houses. 60,000 crore per year is being given to Swachhata Bharat Abhiyan, and if it fails, we will be drowning ourselves in the garbage. Swachh Bharat Gramin and Swachh Bharat Urban. These are the two schemes which have been taken up in 4,041 towns. And what we are asked to do, to give survey. We have to give into surveys floated by government, floated by Nagar Palika, floated by municipal corporation. Just on the basis of survey, we are giving awards to different cities and different villages, not seeing actually what is happening. Lot of household toilets have been made in the villages and in the cities also. Schools have been asked to put good toilets. No permission to new school or college or bus stand or dispensary or petrol pump if it does not have toilets. So we had national sanitation campaign every year from 25th October to 31st October. But see the statistics. See the statistics. 48% of Indian population is going for defecating into the open, which is miserably thrice or 4 times or 20 times or 15 times as compared to Afghanistan, a small and poor country, Congo, a very small and a poor country, Burundi and Bangladesh. Now, this lack of toilets and people going for defecating in the open actually pollutes the water. And water is, if gets polluted, then it leads to malnutrition. That is the issue. That's why government has put a lot of effort for making toilets. But the government has given money, but that money has not been used properly. Fewer toilets, more diseases. Fewer toilets, more diseases. Now come to the states. The highly populated states with low economy, Bihar and Odisha, have got maximum percentage of open defecation as compared to smaller and well-educated states. For example, Sikkim and Kerala, which have much less percentage. So we need more and more toilets as much we need food. We need more toilets as much as we need food. Now, if you can see this picture, this is a landfill site, just like it looks like a hill. It looks like a Vindhyan hill with flat top, but it is a hill of garbage. Out of 4 garbage sites in Delhi, this is one of the Ghazipur's landfill site. It has failed. It has failed in the form of landslide. As we have landslide in hills, we had a landslide in this garbage hill, and that has resulted into death of 2 persons. A car and 3 motorcycles, they were washed away by this falling garbage into the Nala, which is flowing just beside it. Now, when this has happened, then Ghazipur landfill site came into news, and the government has said that no, we are not going to put more garbage into these hills. But the government could not find any other place to put the garbage. That means we have short of space for garbage disposal. When the government stopped further dumping of garbage on this Ghazipur hillside, Rani Kheda was selected for dumping the garbage, but the people around Rani Kheda village, they have objected. So ultimately, again, on the same landfill site, they have started putting garbage. It is not only the case of Delhi or North India. The similar case we have of pollution of Bangalore and Bombay, where the lakes and river bodies, they have got so much polluted, then they have started frothing. And these froths, they blow with the wind. They flow with the wind. Now, if you can see, this is statistics of 2017, how much garbage we are creating as compared to 2015, as compared to year 2000 to 2015. In Delhi, the garbage has gone up by 1,750%. Sorry, this is for Bangalore. For Delhi, the garbage has gone how much? Can anybody? Can anyone tell me that how much garbage has increased?
2075%, sir.
2075%. Just imagine. 100% नहीं, 200% भी नहीं, 1000% भी नहीं, 2000%. Why it is so? Is it not a point of thinking that why we have got this much of garbage? Maximum in Delhi, followed by Bangalore, then followed by Hyderabad, followed by Mumbai, followed by Chennai, followed by Ahmedabad, and then Kolkata. Minimum.
These are metropolitan cities. Yes.
What could be the reason?
Highly
What could be the
populated.
reason?
Densely
The
populated.
reason is that we don't have any plan for rehabilitation the people or housing
You
society,
see,
and our
Delhi,
government may borrow the foreign policy without analyzing the real issues
you
or
see, Delhi and Bangalore, they are the big famous cities. You see, all these rich cities, they get lot of waste by online purchase and all those things. Calcutta, the simple city, has only 8.3% increase. Why? It is because of consumerism. It is because of consumerism. Can you read? Can you understand this? Dennis
Yes, the
is
mother
asking,
is
Yes, sir.
best buying shoes.
you need more legs, not more shoes. So it is the consumerism. Disease caused by Meerut waste ground claims 22 lives. Should Meerut suffer to keep Ghaziabad clean? Move to dump neighboring cities' trash invites public ire. We don't have space for developing waste disposal sites. We don't have space for having proper scientific waste disposal sites. Are we a filthy nation? 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 This is the question. किसकी गलती है? जूही चावला ने उठाया काठमांडू में प्रदूषण का मुद्दा. हम काठमांडू में तो प्रदूषण का मुद्दा उठा रहे हैं, अपने वहां नहीं देख रहे हैं. Supreme Court is saying that Delhi is sitting on the time bomb of garbage. We do not bother where our waste go out once it is out of our house. With growing industrialization and rising consumerism, it is a problem multiplying at an ever-increasing acceleration. Urban India generates 68.8 million tons of garbage. 6,000 tons plastic waste remains uncollected. This is India Today magazine, 1993 and 2014. 21 साल के बाद एक ही प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस कर रहा है ये इंडिया टुडे का कवर पेज. 1993 में कह रहा है कैन वी क्लीन द मेस, और 2014 में कह रहा है डर्टी नेशन. हाउ मोदी कैन डिलीवर अ क्लीन इंडिया. यानी 21 साल में तो हमने कुछ नहीं किया, अब क्या होगा देखिए. दिस इज द आइकन ऑफ इंडिया, द ताजमहल, और उसके पीछे का बैकग्राउंड आप देख लीजिए कि क्या है, व्हाट इज देयर. India's largest solid waste to energy plant at Delhi's at Narela Bhawana. We are trying to create waste disposal sites to generate electricity, but we have not achieved anything till date. Now, the answer we got in 2018, why we have diabetes all over India. Bad air linked to diabetes, India at greater risk. यानी जो एयर पॉल्यूशन है वो डायबिटीज को फैला रहा है, और एयर पॉल्यूशन को कोई रोक नहीं सकता. वो गांव में भी जाएगा, शहर में भी जाएगा. मैंने बताया था आपको कि टॉप 10 इंडियन सेलिंग ड्रग्स में सबसे ज्यादा 5 दवाएं डायबिटीज की थी. अब जब कोविड आ गया तो कोविड में तो वायरल फीवर, इट वाज अ वायरल डिजीज, तो वायरल दवाएं बिकने लगी ज्यादा, और फिर डायबिटीज ने दोबारा कंट्रोल कर लिया. यानी अब आप ये ग्राफ देखिए, डायबिटीज हैव टेकन बैक 2023. पराली जलाने का इशू कहां से आता है सबसे ज्यादा? फ्रॉम वेयर वी गेट दिस इशू ऑफ बर्निंग पराली? पंजाब, Haryana, Punjab. Why don't you think that the people in Haryana, Punjab, they themselves will be affected by this parali burning? Before the Delhi people are subjected to pollution, the people of Punjab and Haryana themselves will be subjected to. See the Sardarji. He is taking his kids to school in a wrap of chadar. अब हम कर क्या रहे हैं, हम जहर के नए पैमाने ले आ दे रहे हैं। एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स की जो लिमिट थी उसको बढ़ा दिया हमने, और हमने समझ लिया कि हमने पॉल्यूशन को कंट्रोल कर लिया। हम क्या कर रहे हैं, शहर के चौराहों पे ऑन द नेम ऑफ स्मार्ट सिटीज वी आर पुटिंग द इंडिकेटर्स ऑफ एयर पॉल्यूशन एंड इट टेल्स अस दैट इतना पॉल्यूशन है, इस वक्त इतना पॉल्यूशन है। बट what should we know after knowing this? There is no force on protection. Now we have started making big what you call air purifiers. Industry started selling air purifiers, household air purifiers, and then government has started putting air purifiers on the chaurahas in Chandigarh, in Ahmedabad, in Delhi, and many places. So again, industry is trying to take the mileage. First create doom and then make boom. First create doom and then make boom. Garbage is a collector's item. कुछ कूड़ा ऐसा है जिसका फेंकना जरूरी नहीं है, उसको कलेक्ट कीजिए घर के ऊपर, और बाद में जो फेरी वाला आता है उसको फ्री में दे दीजिए। प्लास्टिक जो है उसको फ्री में दे दीजिए कलेक्ट करके। प्लास्टिक रोज क्यों फेंकिए घर से? अगर ऐसा कोई वेस्ट आ रहा है जो रॉटनिंग नहीं है, उसको रखिए, कलेक्ट कीजिए घर पे इकट्ठा करके, फिर किसी को दे दीजिए। व्हाई टू थ्रो इट इन द गार्बेज साइड? minimize the use of plastic. So our air is polluted, our water is polluted. We are harnessing water in a very fast way. Only 2.5% of water is a fresh water, drinkable water. Rest 97.5% of water is saline water. Out of this 2.5%, 30% is groundwater, which we are using. Rest of the water is out of bound for us. Frozen water is out of bound for us. Lake water is not available. Atmospheric water is not available except in the rain. And river has got so much polluted that you cannot use the river water. We are very heavily relying on the groundwater. And because of this heavy reliance, the groundwater level is going down and down. The groundwater level is going down and down. And this groundwater level cannot be brought back to previous levels. So ultimately, in near future, we are going to be in big crisis for potable water. Still, there is a crisis at different places in India where drinking water is not available. We are from different colleges and universities. We try to maintain lawns. And for maintaining lawns, we are spending water like anything. We normally open the tube well and flood the lawn for making our lawn green. But at what cost? At the cost of energy and at the cost of groundwater. Groundwater, once taken out, is lost for always. Groundwater, once taken out, is lost for always. So we should go for drip irrigation, or we should go for this kind of fountain irrigation. But this fountain irrigation also need to be done when there is a requirement. If there is no requirement, if you have it in your cell phone, and if there is a prediction of rain after 3 days, don't give water to your lawn. Let the nature give water to the lawn. Because ultimately we have to pay back. And we'll paying back for water consumption, first for not having water, and then we have to pay for water. We have to pay for water. Nowadays it is very easy to ask for one cartoon of a small bottle costing 4 rupees in a small bottle, and getting that water and then wasting that bottles. The water, 100 ml water is being produced by loss of 300 ml water. So this industry, which is thriving on so-called purified water or RO water, this is putting a very great and big harm to the water, especially the groundwater. We have to waste 3 liters of water for getting 1 liter of good water. This is very bad. But we have been caught up in this quagmire. It's very difficult to go out. The Prophet has said that you cannot waste water, even if you are standing at a running stream. अगर हम नदी के पास भी खड़े हैं तो भी हमें पानी वेस्ट करने का हक नहीं है. Similarly, with the increasing population, we are losing our biodiversity. Biodiversity means there is a right for each and every organism of any size, of any color, of any type to live on the earth, because we are linked with each organism. We have to have biodiversity. Biodiversity of animals, biodiversity of plants, biodiversity of fungi, of our microorganisms, each and everything. If there is no biodiversity, then we are going to lose many things, because everything is connected like a web. Everything is connected like a web. So we have to think twice. Even a blade of grass, gives us oxygen, and even a blade of grass may be a place for living of microorganisms and small creatures. So we should not have a bad thinking towards grass. There is no need always to remove the grass. Let it be, because that is part of our ecosystem. Each and everything is part of our ecosystem. Now, human beings, they are creating a situation in which biodiversity is getting lost. We are trying to produce more and more specific kind of vegetation, more and more specific kind of animals, more and more specific kind of nature. So that is creating problem, and that is leading to extinction. Many life is getting extinct. Many life is getting extinct with time. Why? Because we are not taking care. We are not taking care of our biological world. We are interested only in those things which is going to give us benefit directly. We are not thinking of other microorganisms, other biota, other flora and fauna, which is actually helping all those plants which are beneficial to us. We get lot of medicines from the plant world. We get lot of food from the animal world. We get lot of action of pollination from insects. If we remove the honeybee from the atmosphere, from our system, then the world is not going to last more than 40 years. Honeybee carries out pollination. So are the other insects. So we should not try to kill those insects. Now, if you can see, this is a department of electronics engineering where they have trimmed the Ashoka tree. In 2020, I have taken this picture. And in 2022, what has happened? 2 of the Ashoka trees have died, and the 3 are trying to survive. What is the size of Ashoka tree? What is the size of Ashoka tree?
6 to 7 feet.
6 to 7 feet, 60 to 70 feet.
60 to 70.
This is a very big tree. So, is this good? Is this good? Is this a good activity which we do in our university, where people are thought to be padha likha? Why we are planting such trees close to the buildings? If you want to prune any tree, plant a small tree. See, can you make difference in the 2 pictures? Can you make the difference in the 2 pictures?
Concept to same.
They are not same. all the leaves are torn in the above first picture. Because when we move, we just have a habit of plucking the leaf for no reason. But when we had lockdown, when the restriction on movement was taken place, all these leaves, they got full growth. See how in the lockdown period, plants and trees have taken over the anthropogenic space. So what could be the solution? 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 People are raising their voice, but no solution yet. People are raising their voice in different ways. In different ways. No solution yet. Government is not heeding. Industries are not heeding. What an individual can do. Observe these days. Not only these days, but every day should be observed as we observe 26 January, 28 January, 21st March, 22nd March, and so on and so forth. We should not observe these days for the designated day, but whole of the year. We should think of energy conservation not only on 14th December, but whole of the year. We should conserve the World Food Day not only on 16th October, but whole of the year. We should plant trees and we should protect trees. We should plant trees in our small houses. Even if it is a small plant, it is going to give you oxygen at least, and it is going to consume carbon dioxide. Nowadays, a passion has come up for solar energy. For solar energy. It is being thought to have less impact on our climate. We have forgotten how to ride a bicycle. We have forgotten how to ride a bicycle. We are moving on motorcycles, scooters, and cars, including myself. In Copenhagen, at 6 lakh population, they have 6,50,000 cycles. Anybody can take any cycle and can go anywhere. But what is happening in India? Can you see this picture? Can you say something about this picture? What is this picture?
सर लेकिन ऐसे क्वेश्चन 6 मार्क को नहीं आता ना, issue of dimensions other than cash, issue of shares.
Cleaning of water. We need to clean water for irrigation, not the fresh water from the ground. We should collect the wastewater from RO. This is my own house. I used to collect all the wastewater in these buckets, and then I irrigate the trees and plants. Our evolution. Sarpalli Radhakrishnan, the first vice president and second president of India. The human being is nothing more than the latest of a long series of living creatures. Even if evolution of life does not proceed higher than the human species, science threatens us with the possibility of its extinction. ये कह रहे हैं कि हो सकता है ये दुनिया ह्यूमन बीइंग्स के लिए ही बनी हो, लेकिन ह्यूमन बीइंग्स और उनके साइंटिस्ट इस दुनिया को एक्सटिंक्ट कर देंगे. We already had 5 extinctions in geological past. 5 extinctions हो चुके हैं, in which 80 to 85% of life has been lost at different time span in the past. 5 extinctions have already taken place. The last one was 66 million years ago, when dinosaurs got extinct and other animals got extinct. Now we are heading towards 6th extinction. We are heading towards 6th extinction. Read this book by Elizabeth Colbert. Buy this book, read it, get yourself prepared for the global warming survival. We should plant tree in our houses, around our houses, we should protect it also. But what we are doing nowadays, we are putting plastic plants in our houses. And even we water them also. So I am almost to finish. जान है तो जहान है, ये प्रोवर्ब है. लेकिन राजन हबीब ख्वाजा, who was secretary in Ministry of Environment, he was alumnus of AMU. He has said in our lecture, जहान है तो जान है. जहान है तो जान है. We have to protect biodiversity. If we don't protect, the flower pots will have flowers made up of paper, and on the curtains we will have butterflies printed. घर के गुलदानों में शाहिद फूल होंगे कागजी, और पर्दों पर प्रिंटेड तितलियां रह जाएंगी. Everything is linked. Biodiversity is linked with climate change is linked with the economy is linked with the COVID, and what we are thinking just that by washing our hands, everything will be okay. Thank you. That's all from my side. This is a cartoon to lampoon our founder of this university, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was a nature lover. He was lampooned as a naturey jogi. But see, in 1881, the cartoon has come on Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, who was thinking that we should protect the thorny plants and even snakes because they are part of biodiversity. Thank you. If you have
Thank you
any
very
quick
much, sir.
queries, you can ask. Yes.
Sir, thank you very much. I am Shilpi. Your talk was really very interesting and very informative.
Yeah.
एक क्वेश्चन मेरे को दिमाग में आ रहा था, हालांकि
हाँ.
मैं वापस आ रही थी यूनिवर्सिटी से, तो कुछ कुछ ब्रेक्स लेके मैंने आपका लेक्चर सुना. एक आपने
जी.
डेवलप्ड कंट्री
हाँ, क्या
क्लाइमेट
कहा?
चेंज हो चुका है और डेवलप्ड
हाँ,
कंट्रीज
हाँ.
को वो टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं करना चाहिए कि
Yes.
वो क्या डेवलपमेंट में आ जाए.
Actually,
We can say
economy, they don't want to give anything free. They want to earn money. They want to earn money. They are not thinking that if there is a problem and on global scale, they will also be suffering, as they suffered with COVID. In fact, more than us. As per their percentage of population, they have suffered more than us. But each and every country, every government sees the short-term gains, not the long-term one. And let's see that when the sense prevails. Let's hope to have sense prevail. Let's see how much time it is going to take.
thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Researchers like yours and people like you will definitely affect the policy makers and make them think.
You see,
That is what
my
academicians
thinking is that we should start from ourselves. We should start from ourselves, then family, then society, then we should go towards government.
सर ये तो आपका I agree with this, but ये
Yes.
बॉटम अप अप्रोच शायद इतनी लार्ज स्केल की प्रॉब्लम है कि हम अगर यहाँ इंडिविजुअल से स्टार्ट करें तो शायद हम एंड तक पहुंच ही नहीं पाएंगे. अगर टॉप डाउन अप्रोच लगाएंगे तो
That's why
शायद
the
हमारे
awareness, when every individual starts having concern, then government will listen to them. If you go to Ghaziabad, for example, if you go to Ghaziabad, you just breathe the toxic gases coming out of the factories. So when people put pressure, then things will change. They will go for better technology. They are not going for better technology. They are carrying out with the older technologies. Some better technologies are there, but people are not adopting just for the saving of money and having more profit. Okay, thank you. I have a class from
Thank you, sir.
6:30, so I would like to leave now. Thank you for your patience, listening and hearing. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you very
sir.
much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I will send this
Thank you, sir.
PDF
Thank
to
you.
you, to your office, to the concerned person, and they will share with you. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very useful session. Knowledgeable session.
जो कंपनी को स्टार्ट करते हैं
लायबिलिटी थी कम हो रिलायबिलिटी